I don't want to dance around it too much, but I got some thoughts on this one. The Soto signing was just so absurd, just so ridiculous. So I think this was Friday, it was Thursday into Friday. Just such an absolute ridiculous amount of money. The story of it is it's 15 years, $765 million. That's $51 million a year. However, there's an opt-out after the 5th year, which is absurd. 5th year, there's an opt-out. The Mets can void the opt-out, kind of like you have with the Yankees and Garrett Cole's contract, but instead of just adding on a year, they can void the contract by adding $4 million per year on extra to the contract. So if they were to do it right now, if they were just like, okay, we want to void the opt-out right now, 4 times 15 is 60. That's an $825 million contract. It's right around $800 million, however the opt-out works. The present value of the contract is $800 million. Shohei Ohtani, who pitches and hits, didn't get that. He got 10 for 7, which is still absurd. I'm not saying he's bad off or anything. I think Steve Cohen really kind of made, like, this is what we thought he would do. Like, he just spends silly money, right? Juan Soto is one of the 4 or 5 best players in baseball right now. He probably will be the number 1 at some point within his career just because he's so young. And when he's right in his prime in 3-4 years from now, he may be the best player in baseball. I think that the way you have to look at it is that in a business sense, it's an overpay. And I don't want that to sound like it's super negative, but it's an overpay. There is no way that his market should have been $800 million. Considering that you look at Bryce Harper, who really, it's so similar. What happened with them? The difference is that Bryce Harper didn't have his best year heading into free agency. He had a good year, not his best. Juan Soto had probably his best year going into free agency. But a contract like this, you don't pay for who they were, you pay for who they're going to be. The Bryce Harper contract was the biggest in MLB history when it happened, right? It was that time where Machado, Harper, and then Trout signed the extension to make it the biggest himself. It's very similar. Bryce Harper was 13 years, Juan Soto's 15 years. They both hit free agency at 26. I think Soto is slightly better. Like, he's better for sure. Is he 2.5 times better? Like, Bryce Harper's was 330, 765, only 2 extra years. It's 2 Bryce Harper contracts and $100 million more. Like, that's absurd. And I understand that contracts are inflating as the days go by, but that's just incredible, right? And it's Juan Soto, who's a corner outfielder who doesn't play great defense. I'm not saying that defense should make his value any worse, really, because even if he's a DH, like, he controls at bats like no one we've ever seen before, right? 765 is an overpay. I think the logical person in you thinks like it should be around 5, right? Mike Trout signed his extension. Mike Trout had a better career than Juan Soto in almost every metric except for on-base percentage through age 26. And Mike Trout, say what you want because it was with the Angels or whatever, but he signed a far, like, it was the biggest in MLB history, but a far less deal, right? And that wasn't so long ago that we can't even like fathom things, right? The Yankees offered 16 for 760. Apparently the extra $5 million meant a lot to Soto, and he wanted a suite. Yankees wouldn't give it to him. Yankees lose out. He goes to the Mets crosstown. I have to deal with him for the next 15 years on the Mets. They can't be done. Like, that's for sure. They can't be done. They need starting pitching pretty badly. Great. The Mets got Juan Soto, one of the best players we've ever seen. 765 is just so unbelievably much. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't.